welcome to the Self-Help Us podcast, the podcast where we talk about mental health, etc. My name is Sophia, and this is my lovely co-host.
I'm Priya!
And today we're talking about a workbook, Retrain Your Brain, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy in 7 Weeks, a workbook for managing depression and anxiety by Dr. Seth J. Gillman.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what cognitive behavioral therapy is, he summarizes it really neatly in the introduction to this book. It's basically a therapy that addresses both your behavior and your negative thought patterns. It's a contrast to like Freudian sort of therapy where you talk about your subconscious.
And like your childhood and stuff.
And like the symbolism in your dreams that means you want to fuck your mother, like, things like that. So what I really loved about this book is that it's very structured. Each week you are assigned a task, and the workbook comes with lines you can write those tasks on or just your thoughts. And it's really helpful for people with depression or anxiety if they need a structure and your mind is sort of a mess and you haven't been engaging it in weeks. This is nice to kind of like get out of the dark a little bit, and when you decide you want to feel better again, it's such a great book.
Yeah, and it's just like this amazing series of steps that he puts together really well to like actually lift you out of depression. It's like you know in those movies where like there's like a sinking ship and then the helicopter comes and then the guys come and they like lift you out of the sinking ship and they take you to safety? That's what this book is
And Leonardo DiCaprio is there?
And Leonardo DiCaprio is there.
Oh my god.
So that's what this book is.
That's what this book is like. It's like Leonardo giving you the heart of the ocean.
And like also CPR, but then you end up making out. That's what this book wants to be. It's so good. And like the best part of this book is it's not like a one-time use thing. It could be like every time you feel yourself slipping, then you can use this book to pull yourself out. It's applicable for like as many like different scenarios as you need it to be.
Yeah, and let me just summarize the 7 weeks really quick. Week 1 is setting goals, and in that week you make a time chart where you monitor your activities and you rate them 1 to 10, based on enjoyment and importance. Week 2 is getting back to life. It's thinking about what you value and planning activities around that. Week 3 is identifying negative thought patterns. Week 4 is breaking those patterns. Week 5 is time and task management. Week 6 is facing your fears. And week 7 is like putting it all together.
Yeah, it's just basically really hands-on, and like you have to be actively doing things for these tasks that he gives you, which I think is part of the reason why it's so effective in like helping you break the cycle.
Yeah, and what I loved about this book, they're in the self-help category, and even if the ones that are like written by legit doctors and professionals, there's a lot of fluff and nonsense around the actual kernel of the book.
Yeah.
There's a lot of case studies where it's like, Priya, age 19, is suffering from depression, blah, blah, blah. And it goes on for like 10 paragraphs. And you're like, I don't care about her. I want to fix me right now. And he does have those case studies, but it's very succinct and to the point.
Yeah.
And even when he's explaining the historical background behind like CBT and comparing it to all the other modalities, it's still so succinct and accessible and very readable.
Yeah, like you don't have to have a degree in anything to be able to gain like all of the good stuff that you need from this book.
Yeah, and you can know nothing about therapy. This could be like your first time dipping your toe into the pool of therapy.
Dipping your pool into the ocean.
Dipping your...
Hopefully Leo's there.
But yeah, I love this. And like on our first episode, we took the Pop Sugar quote unquote challenge.
Yeah, the self-care like challenge.
Yeah, the 30-day self-care challenge. And we talked about how having that challenge is sort of antithetical to getting better, because like the last thing you want to do when you're recovering from something is a challenge.
Or like you don't want to be in a challenge when you're in the trenches of depression.
Yeah.
Like it's so unnecessarily aggressive.
Yes.
Which is not cool when you're like suffering for depression and you're like, I don't want to do a challenge, I want to stay in bed forever. That seems like I want to do a nap challenge. That's the kind of challenge I want.
I just saw the thing you tagged me on Facebook, and since I don't check Facebook anymore, I saw it like 3 months later.
Oh, what did
the
I
nap challenge?
Oh yeah. So when I was on Facebook, I saw this like little image, and it said nap challenge for 30 days, and it was like day 1, 5 minutes, and then you work your way up to like
110 minutes.
110-minute nap, and I was like, this could be fun for the podcast. I was joking, but now I'm actually kind of serious.
Oh my goodness.
What are the benefits of napping? We need to dive into this.
You guys need to know that Priya is not a napper.
Oh yeah, 100%. I never nap unless my body forces me to nap, in which case I'm probably too sick with like the flu or something to fight it.
Yeah, when Priya naps, I'm like, are you okay?
Yeah, then you know something's wrong.
You know something's really wrong. Like, people have those like little quirks.
Yeah. I was having a really, really like bad spirally day a few months ago, and I was like napping in the middle of the day. My sister walked into my room and she was like, what the fuck is wrong? Are you okay? And I had like my little rain playlist going on Spotify, and I was like, ugh. She was like slowly backing out of the room, not making any sudden movements. She was like, something's wrong. I know something's wrong, I just don't know what it is. So that's my thing. Is how you know the world's falling apart is if I nap.
Whereas I love napping. Napping is the best. Napping is like switching off the world, and it's like part of your body. You don't even have to take drugs if you don't need to.
But that's why when I nap, that's why people are like, oh shit, something's wrong. Because like, if I feel the need in the middle of the day to like switch off the world, that means I just cannot take it anymore. Like, I need to just check out.
Cool.
And things are so bad, I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to sleep. But usually I don't nap because I'm like, yes, I'm strong enough to get through the day. Also, if my stupid ass goes to sleep too late because I'm watching like episodes of Netflix and then I only get like 4 hours of sleep, that's my own damn fault, and I can't nap because then it's just like me saying that it's okay that I'm procrastinating. No, I need to sleep enough.
I feel like a team of psychologists could examine what you just said in the last 3 minutes. Because there were a lot of kernels there that needed to be dissected.
Yeah.
But we don't have time for that today.
We're concentrating on cognitive behavioral therapy today and not my napping habit or rationale.
So there you go. You got to know the book and how we love it. So tell me any of your favorite parts, any insights you gained.
Definitely. I mean, I feel like one of the things that helped me the most and would continue to help me with whenever I reach for this book is just the fact that he says, okay, now that like you've set the stage, you know like what you're spending your time on, what you're enjoying, actually get out there and do it. And he has you make a list of tasks, and for each like sector of your life there are 3 levels of tasks. So like a level 1 for like physical activity could be like taking a 15-minute walk around your neighborhood.
Yeah, well, the 1, 2, 3 is like the difficulty.
Yeah, and so like level 2 could be like actually going to a gym and taking a class, like a 1 hour long class. And then a level 3 could be like doing a hike up a mountain or something like that. So it increases in difficulty level, but he doesn't tell you like, okay, like you have to work your way up to level 3. He's basically just like, okay, this week try, you know, level 1 from like 3 different areas of your life. And the next week maybe try level 2, and if that's not okay for you, then just do level 1 again.
Yeah.
And it's not like he is like forcing you to do things. He's basically just like opening up the stage for like whatever your comfort level is at that time, but still encouraging you to get out there.
Yeah, and what he explains about CBT is it's not about talking about necessarily what makes you depressed all the time. Mm-hmm. The B part of CBT is correcting your behavior.
Yeah.
And in doing these things that you value and enjoy, you start to feel incrementally better, and then you're working on your thought patterns at the same time. So it's a very multi-pronged approach, and part of what he talks about is actually trying to find out and trying to talk about why you're depressed all the time could make you depressed because you're like trying to figure it out, and you're trying to figure out what's wrong with you, and you're kind of putting your life on hold just to do all of this overthinking.
And like also with the overthinking, when you're focusing on like, okay, what is making me depressed? For me personally, at least, it's so easy to go into a negative spiral from
Yeah,
there.
it's a spiral for sure.
And I think just like attacking these like thought patterns and really getting your way of thinking not only about like what happens to you and like the world around you, but like the way that you talk to yourself and think about just like yourself in general is one of the best parts of this book.
One of the most important things he talks about is that thoughts are something that come in between the events in your life and the emotions. So the events are something you can't control. The thoughts are in between, and then the emotions is also something you can control.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, you had a fight with your friend, and then now you feel sad. So what's the thought in between that? And we often don't realize that we're thinking about something, and we treat the feeling that comes from the events as fact and as inevitable. So thinking about what comes in between that and actually trying to pick out your thoughts as you think them is very useful in trying to figure out how you talk to yourself and how that might make you feel bad.
Exactly. It's just about, like, really figuring out how you can, like, most effectively, like, recognize and interact with the world around you without, like, subconsciously beating yourself up for, like, doing nothing wrong.
Yeah, and not treating your feelings about yourself or anything else as fact.
Yeah, because it's not fact. It's just perception.
Yeah, feelings are not facts.
Yeah.
And week 4 is about, he called it examining evidence, which I love because I'm a nerd.
You can put your true crime hat on.
Yeah, you
like,
put your little Sherlock Holmes deerstalker cap on, your magnifying glass.
We gotta get a pipe.
Yeah, cork off pipe.
But since we're in San Francisco, we'll put weed in it.
Gross.
Not tobacco.
I'll just choose some CBD gummies. It's fine.
Yeah, okay, well, we're replacing the pipe with CBD gummies. Also, though, I want to wear, like, something more festive than a Sherlock Holmes hat.
What, like a sombrero?
Actually, that's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, like, because that's the whole thing, is, like, when you're doing this hard work and when you're, like, delving into your own, like, psyche.
Yeah, you gotta be festive about it.
You want to be festive. You want to be as, like, ready and happy as possible. So, like, wear that sombrero, girl.
Yeah, shake those maracas.
Yeah, eat some gummies. Like, do your thing. Put on some, you know, Counting Crows or whatever. Yeah. Jam out. You are an all-star, a la Smash Mouth. You can do this. It's hard, but, you know, I feel like laughing about it and, like, trying to be as positive about it is the only way to get through it.
I've never put sombreros and all-star in the same mental image.
But now that you have, it's unforgettable, isn't it? It's like...
It is unforgettable. That's a fact.
You're like, you have nothing else to add to this part of the conversation.
No, I feel like it's perfect. Sombrero, smash mouth, maracas.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, you can examine the evidence of your thoughts with that.
Yeah.
So basically when you think something about yourself or about the world, you're examining evidence for how that thought might be true or not true.
Yeah.
So, like, give an example of, like, something you think...
Oh, okay.
You can examine the evidence.
So, for example, like, if you get into, like we were talking about earlier, a fight with your friend, maybe, like, you were running late and, you know, she was upset with you for running late, you could be like, wow, like, I'm
such a bad friend.
Like, I'm such a bad friend. Like, I can't believe like, why does she hate me so much? Like, you know, and you could just spiral with all of these thoughts. Like,
okay.
Oh, if I lost weight, then I wouldn't have spent so much time, like, trying on clothes. Like, I am so ugly, I'm so this and that, and then I wouldn't have been late. So it's really, like, bad self-image.
Yeah, this is very
spirally. Yeah.
So what's the evidence for and the evidence against that you're a bad friend? And you kind of put things in those two columns and see if that's actually true. Mm-hmm. Usually it's not. Yeah. But if it is, then that's also something you address. So what I love about, like, these thought patterns that he's talking about is that if the negative thing you're thinking is actually true, that is something you could address. It's not about, like, putting a positive sheen on everything.
Yeah, it's about digging in there and, like, getting to what the heart of the issue is and seeing if you can actually adjust it for the future.
Yeah, and there's a case study of a mother of two, I believe, and she talks about how she's working hard and she thinks negative thoughts about herself all the time, especially in regards to her motherhood. And she's always talking to herself about how she's a bad mother. And when she learns how to counteract her negative thoughts, the thing she would say is, someone's lying about me again, which I love. Like, yeah. I say that to myself now. So, like, when I'm thinking negative thoughts about myself and there's no evidence for it, it's like, oh, someone's lying about me again. And it's me.
But that's the thing with, like, Dude, mental health is so weird because you are your biggest obstacle, which is the weirdest thing to think about.
Well, that's why it's helpful to put it in the third person because it's like an outside source.
Yeah, because it helps you like actually put everything that you're thinking, everything that you're saying, and like the way that you view the world in perspective. Whereas before it would just kind of be like enmeshed with all the other parts of you, but now, especially like through using this book, you're able to separate, you know, negative self-talk from like reality, and it's unbelievably helpful.
And I remember during the first week when he asked us to do the activity chart and had to rate each activity 1 out of 10 enjoyment and importance. Mm-hmm. And the only thing for I think 5 days, was it?
Yeah.
7 days? 5 days was the only thing that was both a 10 in enjoyment and 10 in importance was sleep. And everything else was like just boring or like important and boring or not important and boring. Like
or not important but very fun, like watching a 7th episode of Gilmore Girls in one day.
Yeah, so I was looking at this and I'm like, oh my god, I'm not taking care of myself. And I was so hard on myself, and I always thought that I always needed to work harder or just do more. I don't know what more means, but like, I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
So looking at this, it actually, first of all, it gave me the power to credit myself more. Mm-hmm. And it also made me realize that I needed to take care of myself more. So it's actually nice to be able to see what you did and evaluate it like that.
Yeah, it's the same thing with people who are trying to get healthy and they like actually write down exactly what they eat every single day, because like that act of like putting it on the paper and being able to like refer back to it really like lays it out for you, and you're like, oh yeah, like I forgot that I ate that, or like, oh yes, this is why this is happening, and this is why I feel this way. So it's just super helpful. It's like journaling, just getting everything out so you can see it all at once and like have it be always there for you to like check back in on.
Yeah, and I was able to do this in a Google spreadsheet, and I love a spreadsheet.
Oh, we love a good spreadsheet, guys. We love spreadsheets.
I made
so
it like pretty colors. I made it into a template, so in case I wanted to do it again.
And you know, exactly, you just gotta make it fun. You gotta make it you.
I mean, for us the spreadsheet is fun, but you could do like stickers or just whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, you could do like a bullet journal or whatever.
Yeah, you could do it on your wall. Mm-hmm. We're not gonna judge you. It's your own recovery we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you like actually start to schedule these activities that he has you think about, and it's about what you value, which just means it's not of like some lofty goal of changing your life. What you value just means, in this book, it just means something you enjoy.
Yeah.
And that won't hurt you.
It's not like he's telling you you need to like go outside and take a walk, or you need to like get out of bed if you're not sleeping, or like whatever. He's just like, if it's important to you, focus on it. If it's not important to you, that's okay.
Yeah, and it also has to be something that doesn't impede your recovery. Yeah. So if what you value is like, I don't know, taking meth, that can't go in the spreadsheet.
Yeah, no more meth, guys. Sorry. This book is a no meth zone.
Yeah, and he actually I'm trying to move on and be a grown-up, but Priya over here wrapped up in her Disneyland sweatshirt.
I know.
Wants to talk about meth zones.
You know what?
I am who I am.
You know me so well.
Yes, I do.
Took the words out of my mouth. Oh my goodness.
When he has you schedule these activities, and then again he has you put it in the form, and he actually has you schedule it. That was mind-blowing for me.
Like putting it in your calendar.
Putting it in my calendar, having like a time block for it.
Yeah.
It seems super obvious, but it actually changed my life.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my therapist about this. I was going to therapy as I was going through this book. And I was like, you know, oh my god, like, the only reason I'm taking care of myself right now is because a book told me to.
Story of my life.
Like, I needed permission or an assignment or something. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Is there anything you did during this, like, values and activities week?
Well, yeah, there was tons of stuff I did. So, I would, like, go out and see my friends more. I would, focus on doing, like, crafty, artistic things that I really liked. So, like, knitting scarves and, like, just like drawing and stuff like that. Just like getting back to doing things that I really enjoyed. One thing that I did learn about myself because of all of the like analyzing your actions things that we do in this book is that, okay, so I love having a glass of wine at night while I'm like watching TV.
Mm-hmm. Not with meth.
Not with meth. This is a meth-free hour of my day. So I like having a glass of red wine every night just for funs. But what really makes me spiral is if I have a second glass of wine. Oh. And I never knew that before. And like one glass of wine, totally fine. Everything's great. I'm having an awesome night. My second glass of wine, if I'm alone, is when I start to spiral and overthink and get like weirdly emotional. And I never realized that that was why that was happening to me some nights. And because of this book, I was able to be like, oh, okay, so one glass of wine and that's it. I'm done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little things are life-changing, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't really get to know what those little things are unless you go through this book. And I know that we were both saying, like, it's great to, like, lift you out of depression or any of the other things that you might be going through. But it's also super helpful to do when you are feeling, like, pretty good about life because it helps you recognize what it is that you're doing that keeps that good feeling going.
Yeah, what's working.
Yeah. Because we know it's not meth. We know that. So what else are you doing?
A new hobby that I gained through doing this is calligraphy. Mm-hmm. So because I scheduled it, I finally sat down and actually looked at tutorials on how to do it. So apparently you can do calligraphy with Crayola markers.
What?
Yeah.
Wait. No way.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I found this out, and I've been practicing with Crayola markers and doing calligraphy drills, and it's actually super fun and relaxing. Like, the same me that loves spreadsheet loves doing calligraphy drills, which is like just upstrokes and downstrokes over and over. But and sometimes I do it before bed. It's super relaxing.
I feel like that is a flow activity.
It is 100% a flow activity.
Yeah. That harkens back to episode 4 that we did, Life Lessons from a Brazilian Surfer. So if you haven't checked that out, you totally should because it's rife with awesome things that will make and keep you happy. But yeah, I really loved this CBT book. It was excellent.
It was excellent.
Highly, highly fucking recommend it, guys.
And then one of the things that I just want to leave you guys with is, like, the best change comes from within yourself. Mm-hmm. So, like, there's a portion of this book where you tackle your fears, and he really emphasizes that it's not something anybody can force you to do. So if, like, you're scared of a spider and somebody forces you to touch a spider, like, that's not gonna do nothing for your recovery.
Yeah, you have to find it within yourself. And this was actually a really interesting one for me because I was doing this thing that the book labels as like a safety behavior, but I didn't even realize I was doing it.
Okay, so a safety behavior is something that you do to help curb a phobia, but it doesn't necessarily actually do anything. It's just like a security blanket.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I didn't realize I was doing it, and then Sophia was like, you know that's your safety behavior, right? And I was like, no, I did not, but now I do.
Nuggets.
And like, dude, it blew my mind that I didn't realize what I was doing. So
okay, tell the people.
I will tell the people. So people, listeners, every night before bed, I would double check all of the doors and windows to make sure they were locked. So like, even if I knew I locked it when I came in for the evening, I would before bed recheck everything, and then I would come in my room. I would lock the door. And I would check my closet, and behind my closet door, I would check my bathroom and my shower, and behind my bathroom door, I would check under my bed, and I would check, like, all the locks on my windows and stuff.
Green eggs and ham?
Yeah, literally everything. And then, only then, I would get into bed. And if I ever forgot to, like, check under my bed, I could not go to sleep. Like, I would have to, like, get out of bed and check it again. Or if, like, I had, like, even, like, a little, like, 0.00001% doubt that, like, I didn't double check the front door, I would have to get out of bed and go check again. And it was like, this is driving me crazy because I'm comfortable and in bed, but still, like, I have to do these things, otherwise I won't be able to sleep, and I know that. And so when she told me, like, you know you're crazy for doing that, right? And I was like, oh, fuck, you're right. I am.
I didn't say you were crazy.
I'm
I said it was a
paraphrasing.
safety behavior.
Yeah. Well, I told myself I was
Oh,
crazy.
okay. So that's a negative thought you have to examine.
I'll put that on the list for the next time I tackle this book. And, you know, through working through the tasks they gave in the book and, like, all the examples and stuff like that, like, I no longer do that anymore. And it's, like, very freeing because I didn't even realize how much of a annoyance it was for my day-to-day life. But I'm, like, no longer doing it. And I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
It's been a journey going through this book. It's been our most ambitious project for the podcast so far, 7 weeks.
It spanned almost 2 months that we were doing, like, consistent work every week. So we hope you guys enjoyed hearing about it and, like, hopefully are at least a little bit convinced.
Yeah, check out this book. He deserves all the money.
Oh, all the money. And I actually think that it's available at, like, libraries as well.
Libraries, Amazon, wherever you get books. Not Borders.
Not Borders. My joke is back.
Yeah, recovery is a journey, you guys. It's not a contest. So just, like, keep working at it. Relapses are inevitable, but it's not the end of the world. You can always get back on it.
Yeah. It's a marathon and we're running right alongside you.
Aww. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys want us to read a book that you heard about, do something self-helpy for the podcast, or if you have any messages for us, our email is selfhelpuspodcast@gmail.com.
We always love to hear from you guys.
Try your best to live your best life.
Take care, guys.
Bye.